hear that you grew up in that community. I mean, what was that like for you?
Um, I don't think it was too bad, mostly because I just really don't care. Like I've always just done my own thing, so
Right.
not really any sweat off my back if somebody has something to say about it or feels some type of way. Um, but I was living in Grand Rapids. I moved my senior year of high school, but I was still going to high school there. So
Oh,
I didn't walk up my graduation. I graduated early. Like I got out of there, and I um wanted to just expand my horizons and like move out. And I think Grand Rapids was a good step for me.
yeah, absolutely. So that's where you kind of flourished. You really got in more into your career.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, take me through that. How did you get started in Grand Rapids? Did it start at Rumors? Was it smaller? Did you have a drag mom? How did you kind of get your career started here?
Okay, so I have been like sewing and I guess kind of doing drag like since I was like 15,
Mhm.
but um it was around, well, my mom and I used to watch Drag Race actually. And she would always tell me she wanted to watch me on there. She's like, you could do that. I could see you on there. And then my mom passed away a few years ago, and I felt like there was kind of like a clock turn in my head where I was like, you know what, maybe I will try it. And I, started doing it. And I did my first show at Rumors on a Tuesday. And I think I did like 2 amateur shows, and then I started doing like the paid like professional shows. Like it started happening really fast for me. I was like going on tour like within a few months of doing drag. I
Wow.
won Michigan Drag Queen of the Year, and um, it's been very crazy. I've been doing drag for I think like 3 years now, like
That's it.
officially.
Oh
Yeah,
my
so
goodness.
it's been really crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
when I got on the show, I had been doing it for a little over 2 years, but like with COVID, like I wasn't really performing a whole lot last year, so I uh, didn't have a whole lot of experience, So like going on the show, it's like you're competing with the big dogs, and it's you know
yeah.
going from like a small pond to like an entire ocean,
What
definitely.
was that like for you when you got cast on the show? What was your reaction?
I well, I kind of knew I was going to get on. Mostly just
Really?
because I've always just like believed in myself to like a very superficial extent. Like, and I felt like I had a really good story to tell, and I have a unique style, and I think I just kind of it was more of just I thought they would be stupid to not put me on. And it's like you get the call, and it's like it's exciting, but then it's also like, oh damn, like now I have to start getting ready for the show.
You're like, oh, I gotta
Because they don't
sell.
give you a whole lot of time to get ready. And
I
I don't have a lot, I didn't have a lot of connections to like, designers. I didn't have like any money. I moved out of my apartment right as I was getting ready for the show. So like I went to Drag Race just basically homeless. Like I had nothing. Like I poured everything I had into getting ready for the show.
Do you think it was worth it though?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I know we
Yeah.
can't get into any specifics, which totally fine, but I mean it keeps it kind of interesting for viewers. But what's the origin of your name? How did you pick your name, your drag name?
Um, it's not really like the most interesting story, but
Hey, I figured
um
I'd ask anyway.
yeah, a lot of people were thinking it was like a pun or something. They were trying to like decipher it, but no, it's Story's actually my mom's maiden name, and I knew I wanted to like I for a while I wanted to like thought about changing my last name to that, but then I was like, maybe I'll just do it for drag. And then I was just kind of like trying to think of um like a first name that would fit with it. I wanted something that was like kind of ethereal sounding.
Mhm.
Um and I thought of Orion. I looked it up, and it didn't look like there was like a whole lot of people with that name. So I was like, I'm taking it, and I like it. It's like it's cute.
It seemed I read somewhere because I was doing some research on you that you had said you got your sense of humor from your mom, and it sounds like you had a lot of influence from her. Tell me about that. Like what part she played in your drag career.
Yeah. Well, she was really honestly just like my best friend. Like I feel like kind of share a brain a little bit, where we have a very similar sense of humor, and we would go to like Hobby Lobby or like Joann's, and we would like mess with like the signs and stuff, and like the lettering to spell like poop, and like it just like stupid stuff,
Things. Yep.
Yeah, so I think I when I started doing drag, it was really just mostly a tribute to her. So I and like in drag, like a lot of people always tell me that I look like my mom. So I kind of feel like it was just kind of meant to happen. I don't usually try to think about things too much. It's just like let it fall into place. And I feel like this is kind of how it fell into place.
Yeah. So she had this kind of influence on you without you even realizing you were like not specifically trying to do it, but she just had such a big impact on you that it kind of, worked its way into your drag.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people who, when they get in drag, it's like a kind of a personality switch. It's like they put on a persona, but I would think I'm just kind of the same person in and out of drag. I don't really try to like put up a front or anything. So I always just kind of let the cards fall how they may.
And you're kind of the first Michigan drag queen to really represent the state on Drag Race. We had some other people from here. I mean, it's been going on for a while now, and you're the first like Michigan queen. What's that like for you? I mean, the Great Lakes state. Are you proud of that?
I am, and I think I would say that there's a huge pressure, but not really, because I think overall I'm really representing myself first and foremost. I think I'm honored to be the first Michigan and Grand Rapids, West Michigan queen on the show. But I hope that this at least opens the door for a lot of other Michigan queens, because I think we have a lot of talented girls here, and I think that there's a lot of hidden gems that I think would really flourish on a platform like Drag Race.
I guess then what's your ultimate goal? Like, do you want to, I mean, I know that's such a tough question to answer because you don't know what's into place, but like, would you love to stay here forever? Like, would you like to move to LA or New York? What's kind of your ultimate goal?
I've been thinking about moving to LA. I think more for, like the opportunities and stuff. I think, with drag in Michigan, there's not like too many opportunities. It's like, you kind of, if you're not, doing the same shows every week, or, like a house cast at like, Hamburger Mary's or Rumors or something, like, there's not really a whole lot of growth that you can have. It's like you get to a certain point, but then you have to move on. It's like, I love Michigan, but I think I have a lot of things that I want to do, and a lot more that's in store for me that I don't think that I'll be able to accomplish by, staying here. I appreciate Michigan for, everything that it's done for me. And I will always be grateful, and, I'll always love Michigan, and, I'm sure I'll be back at some point, but
yeah,
I think this is, I'm on to the next step in my life, in my career.
Yeah. And it kind of shows people, you're a little kid from Spring Lake, Ottawa County, Michigan, and you can, do your thing here and then be on to bigger and better things. I mean, is that a part for you? Like, you want to show other kids who maybe grew up on the lakeshore, very rural, agricultural, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to stay here. Do you kind of hope you have that influence on people?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I was that kid, looking up to people. Like, I've been watching the show since season 4. It was like 2012, I think, just like watching it in my room on my laptop, like, and I always, knew I wanted to be like a star, famous for something. And like, I know there's a lot of other kids out there that probably feel the same way that I did. So I'm like, I hope that I can at least, reach out to those kids and say, like, if I can do it, you can do it. The sky's the limit.
What do you think is the most important thing for people to know about the art of drag?
I think the thing that people forget is that it's, for everybody. It's, we have our first straight male contestant on the show. And we also have, multiple trans people of color on the show as well. And I think this is honestly probably one of the most diverse casts that we have ever had on the show. And I think that's going to be an important message for people, because I think a lot of times people think that it's, drag is one or the other, or it's like just what they see. But I think, especially with Drag Race, opening the doors to so many different kinds of people, I think it shows that, it's really for everybody. And, maybe there's somebody who is straight out there that wants to try drag, and they're going to see Maddie and maybe be inspired by that. And I think it's important to, especially with how mainstream drag has been lately, like for real, I think it's important to, push that message that like anyone can be who they want. And I think, at least speaking from my experience, like drag has really helped me learn a lot about myself, and like come out of my shell a lot. And I think that it's important that, I think everyone needs to find something to find their confidence and find their voice. And I think drag is a really great way to do that, because there's so many different things that you can do with it. It's like there's drag queens who have music careers, who write books, who are on television, like everywhere. Like it's really like a gateway for whatever you want to do,
Obviously we don't know, the season hasn't come out yet, hasn't premiered, so I know we can't talk about like the outcome, but initially, what do you hope that your fans and local, plus you're going to probably have so many more once the show airs from way beyond and international, what do you hope that your fans take away from your time on Drag Race? I know that sometimes people go home the first episode or the last episode, and we won't know that until it happens, but what do you want people to take away from it, no matter how your season turned out?
Honestly, the main thing that I wanted to do going on the show was just make people laugh and, show myself, show everything that I've been working on. I made a lot of my stuff for the show. So like a lot of stuff that you'll see on the show, I made myself, just in my apartment with my cat. So I'm really, I'm excited to, get to show all that off, hopefully make everyone laugh, and just like make this a really great season. I think everyone's gonna love it.